Hi Sagittarius, how's it going? Alright, so I just wanted to be clear on a few things before I did your reading, just because of the relationship that Sagittarius and Gemini have. I didn't want to go into your reading with anything that's going on in my life, like affecting your reading. Not that I have anything going on with the Sagittarian, just because of how I've been feeling. I needed some clarity, and I received it, and the first thing I thought was, okay, let's do the Sagittarius reading. So after we do just intuitively picking some cards and looking at them, we'll go into the extended reading, which as of next month you'll be able to buy if you want, but this month it's just free and you can take a look at it and see if you like it. If your rising is Sagittarius, you will receive a lot of clarity from the extended. I feel like anyone who's rising or likes their rising sign or wants to know more about their rising sign, they'll be so amped with a look at the extended. So if you're here for that reason, stick around because I think you'll like what you see. So first three cards up are the Star, Judgment, and you guys. All right, Page of Wands. So let's pull some more. I'll show them to you all together, and then we can talk about how they inform one another, but also what each one stands for. Let's start with the Star. So the Star fits in really well for how you guys have been feeling in general, which is like starting to get what you want again, and the power that one can feel when they're on an upswing. The power of knowing that anything you kind of touch will turn to gold. So be careful, because you want to be very selective with what you touch with that ability right now. All right, we've got a bunch more cards that came up, so let me show them to you. Let's look at them together. All right. So bottom of the deck is the Nine of Wands. The Star, the Judgment card, and the Page of Wands are already out. And then we've got the Chariot, the Death card. That makes sense. You have 8th house activity this month, so not a surprise there. Two of Swords, Knight of Swords, 8 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 5 of Swords, the World card, and then the Hanged Man and Justice. So let's take these two as our outcome cards. All right, so let's look. Let me move you guys back a little bit more so you can see everything. All right. So you've got the Cancer card, part of your chart that's activated. You've got the Death card, same part of your chart that's activated. Actually, it's your 8th house, which for you, Cancer has influence over. You're feeling pretty good, feeling brave. You've got that mix of Sagittarian, but also this Aries push, which we'll talk about more. So this push to go out and really be brave and maybe even make new connections. But before you can move to that, there is a sense within you of, I'm starting to get what I want. And sure, it does feel like karmic payback or, let's say, karmic balancing. I was going to use the word retribution, but just, Sagittarians have felt like a lot was taken from them and a lot was inflicted on them. And now this kind of satisfaction of everyone knowing the truth and everyone being credited for what they've done, and in a way that Sagittarius, I think, is very comfortable with, and it gives you the strength and the confidence to move forward feeling really good about yourself. But I think you will have a few moments this month where you feel, okay, yeah, I didn't think that person was gonna, get their karma, or I didn't think this situation would resolve itself harmoniously, but I was putting really good energy into it, and I was trying to be a really good person about it, and here, this worked out to my favor. So I'm feeling really good about myself. Super positive, okay? Now, it gets a little tricky because you are in a Cancerian place of healing. And that's not always the most easy thing for Sagittarius. I think a lot of times Sagittarians can shy away from processing their pain just because, sorry, let's keep this off camera, just because you are such a forward moving sign and you are externally focused. And so healing, which is something really internal, that can kind of, miss you as you're running past. And then the Two of Swords. So feeling I like to call this the conflicted Libra energy. Feeling that really conflicted, I've got these two sides of myself that I've got to balance right now. There is a part of me that wants to go out there and make friends and meet new people and take new risks and enjoy this new job and enjoy this new decision I've made or enjoy what I've just invested my money in. And there's another part of you that wants to be super internal and it's not sure, still not sure what direction it wants to take. And it's a little embarrassed about that and wants to heal all the stuff. It wants to heal everything that happened before the Star card showed up and started giving you this great energy. Because intuitively Sagittarius knows, yeah, it's great that things are going well now, but what about all that stuff that happened before? There is a need to rationalize it. There's a need to rationalize it as I knock the Libra card off the table. Rationalize it, make sense of it. And you'll have the energy to do that. You'll have the energy to feel that rebirth and healing transformative process, which is why the Death card is in the center of your reading. It's awesome, right? Because this is your upswing. This is where everything changes. This is when you meet an incredible new person. This is when you start your incredible new job. This is when both can happen at the same time, And that can, in a way, feel like death because you do have to leave behind the anxious way of being. You do have to leave behind I also call this the running anxiety card, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? You do have to take into account that this process requires you to let go of an issue that next month will come so into focus for you and it will really, ream you if you don't take care of it now. By the time the eclipse comes around in August, you really want to be done with this energy of, even though things are going well, I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't know if it's going to continue. Oh God, I hope it doesn't stop. That energy, if you come into the eclipse with it, is going to smack you across the face. You don't want that. You want to take this month to really bask in this energy of reformation and healing and just all your pieces being broken apart and coming together in a new, more beautiful, stronger way, and realizing that this energy just doesn't fit with the process that you're in. You see, if it was the Chariot by itself, that would denote all kinds of anxiety because you have no direction. You're ready to go, but you can't pick a direction, right? This informing the Death card, informing the Chariot is awesome because the Death card is direction. The Death card knows exactly where it's going. So yes, you may be coming out of a time of indecisiveness, but now you've picked a direction. Now you've gotten that new opportunity. Now you've gotten into the new relationship or you've gotten indication that person is serious about you or that job is serious about you or this institution values you, this family values you. And now you can smoothly move from that anxious but ready energy into, well, let's move then. And what's better for a Sagittarius to hear than let's move then? So don't do this. You see, the heightened, sophisticated, spiraling up version of this is this, and you have it here as an outcome, but you also have the Hanged Man. So, really, as soon as I said I was going to do the Sagittarius reading, things started falling over. I'm not sure what kind of frenetic energy it is that you guys are working with this month, but I've been feeling it rushing through my body like electricity. I'm shocking people that I come into contact with. I'm knocking things over. I'm shorting things out. It's always around the Sagittarian reading that things really amp up for me. And again, I think it's because of the nature of the Gemini Sagittarian, just energetic relationship. But you see here how if you don't rationalize this fear away, if you keep living with that running anxiety, fear of the other shoe dropping, things are going well, but oh God, when are they going to start going bad again? If you don't rationalize that away and be logical about it and be, Kim K unbothered about it, be that Libra energy, if you can't do that, then you will, of course, stay stagnant. Because for Sag to now move boldly into this new life, this is the only thing that you cannot do. And now let's look at the personal stuff, because there's obviously some personal stuff coming up here. So we'll look at this, and then in the extended, one of the things that I'll do is I'll keep these cards on the table. And in the extended video, we'll pull cards to really inform the cards that are already out. So one of the ones I'll definitely be pulling for is this air sign, Knight of Swords, and this Five of Swords, because this mix of cards here, aside from the World, which is super positive, this mix of cards is concerning, right? Because the Knight of Swords is obviously someone who's being aggressive with you. This doesn't have to be an air sign energy. It's someone who is being really aggressive and pushy with you in a way where they want to drag you away from this natural progression and really positive path that you're on. So be really careful. Now, you may find that with this person, you reach a level of agree to disagree. Listen, your energy's not that good for me right now. I need to just be doing my own thing. And you try to, sag your way out of it. And you feel like, okay, this person's listening, and, I've achieved, like, I've gotten my point across, and the point was achieved, that this person should just back off a little. But then the card of deceit and theft. So this energy, whether it be a coworker situation or a romantic situation or a school situation, although you may have reached a point of safety where you feel like you've won or you've subdued this aggressive energy, you haven't. It's just going to be aggressive in another way now. You see, this is aggressive, this is passive aggressive. Both harmful, just one is, in my opinion, so much more harmful because, first of all, he's real happy about it, which is always disconcerting to me. Like, why are you so proud of yourself? And he's like, proud of what? He's proud of the misery inflicted on others by his behavior. Dangerous card, dangerous energy. And I never say things like that. So just, this is the way it's coming up. It's someone who will let you feel like you've won just so they can, play a game with you again. But the World card here is saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They can't do anything to you. Regardless of what this energy is trying to accomplish, they're not going to be able to do it. Yes, this energy can definitely translate to that Aries energy, Scorpio energy of wanting to get somebody back. Yeah, sure. You may have someone in your life. This could even be a water sign energy, like Pisceans and Cancerians can be very vengeful, right? So this idea of someone wanting to get you back somehow, and you like really fixing the situation in your mind, using that Sagittarian like directness and being like, listen, this is what it is, and feeling like, okay, I've reached a place of safety, and then no, boom, this person in another way detracts from you energetically again. And the World card coming in and saying, okay, you know what, you really don't need to be dealing with any of this because everything is open to you right now. Your luck is on 100 and you need to focus there and focus on your transformation so you can have more and more access to this instead of obviously whatever this toxic situation is that's hurting you. So stay with the toxic situation. Ta-da! Realize that the world is at your feet at the moment, and that the quest for vision that you were given is, slowly coming to an end and leaving you in this glorious new, young, state of mind. Super positive. Just whatever this dynamic here is, and what this is because it's something that's involving a real struggle for you emotionally. Whatever this is, you need to... The World card is also about gaining perspective. You need to kind of pull your vision back and look at the situation from a bit of a distance. if it was happening to your sister, if it was happening to your brother, if it was happening to your cousin, if it was happening to your best friend, how would the situation look? Because I think once you do that, that's when you really harness this Libra energy, when you think that way. And when you think that way, you generally come up with a solution that is both tempered, but also very, very effective. The Nine of Wands, I think, at the bottom of the deck is talking about how once you're out of this situation, you will realize very quickly that there is a lot out there for you and a lot that can be manifested from your power. Okay, one of the other things we'll do in the extended is look under the deck and see what else comes up. So that's a general look at what's going on for you this month. And now this is where I would stop it and we would go into the extended. So first of all, going into the extended, let me show you my notes and you can take a screenshot, and that way you can follow along. And we can talk more about what's going on in terms of the planets and how the cards are looking in terms of your placements, but then also pulling more cards and seeing like what is going on with the Five of Swords, what is going on with the Knight of Swords, like who is this, you know, or what is this energy, what does it want from you? So first, let's take a screenshot of the general notes that I have, and then you can take a shot of, So, first let's do this. These are the notes. All right. And then here is your cardinal cross chart. All right. So now let's look at this. In terms of your cardinal cross, this Cancer Chariot card, right? This card here. This totally, and the mix of the Chariot and the Death card has everything to do with Cancer in the 8th house and your transforming and healing. So what do you want to temper this with? You want to temper this with the energy across from you. So across from you in the 2nd house is this Capricorn energy. So you're going to use that working energy, what you feel about yourself and your self-worth, and you're going to apply that here. Okay? You're going to apply that here in a way where you don't spend money out of a sense of lack or inadequacy. You don't spend money in a way that you're trying to make up for something in your life. You're going to hold on to your money and be more logical and be more of this Capricorn energy and realize that your self-worth doesn't have to do with spending. So that's a big part of what these two cards are about. Now, when you realize this and you realize that your self-worth doesn't have to come from spending money in any way, there is also going to be this back and forth that happens in the mind, because the mind is going, okay, this is part of how I've always defined my value. Why all of a sudden now is this stuff coming up, you know, self-worth stuff? Why is this 2nd house energy coming up now where you're beginning to see value in yourself in different ways? You're beginning to value yourself by a whole different standard, but your habits haven't changed. Your habits are still, you know, spend like this because of this, or spend when I feel bad about this, or save or over save when I feel bad about something and not spend at all. So this energy, these two energies are going to start to balance out now in a way where on the Capricorn side, in terms of self-worth, you're going to get this healing Cancer energy, really, you know, infusing that. And on the other side, where you're working with transformation and hurt and healing, you're going to get this kind of cool Capricorn stable energy to make you do the right thing and be logical. Okay? Now, when we look at the chart the other way, remember how I was talking about the Knight of Swords being like an Aries energy, like an aggressive energy? So you have Aries in your 5th house, right? So that's all about pleasure, romance, and your love energy is back. So yes, there is this kind of push within you. This card could absolutely also be you, where you are wanting to just love. You want to get out there and love. You want to get out there and be in a thing, you know, and experience and you know, yeah, be in love. And what I put here is don't get nervous, maintain composure which is exactly this Libra energy. You know, and why? Because Libra is in your 11th house up here with friends and social groups. So just like these two energies infuse each other and balance each other out, these two are going to do the same thing here. So yeah, you have a lot of love energy, and Aries is like rearing to go. Having Aries in that placement just means that you're, you know, you're ready. You're ready, you're loving, you're energetic, you're like, bring it, I'm good. And the reason I put here, don't get nervous, maintain composure, is because when Aries goes for it all the way, you'll notice that they often put their foot in their mouth, and you don't want to do that. You're more discerning than that. And so you want to pull that energy back a little and temper it with that Libra kind of like diplomacy and thinking it through and being really rational. And so that's why also the Justice card comes up. Now, on the other hand, what happens with Libra in the 11th? What do you need there? You need this Aries bravery. So it says here, risk making new connections. One of the things that can happen with Sagittarius is that they can be a little reticent when it comes to meeting new people and making new connections and trusting people. They can be very, very slow to trust, very easy to get along with, but very slow to trust. And I think right now, one of the things you'll experience is almost a push to trust new people, having fun trusting new people, having fun making new friends. And it may, you know, make you want to pull back a little and go, whoa, 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 this feels really weird. But that is that Aries energy coming in and really boosting that area of your life. So super positive. Okay, now let's take a look at the notes. So Venus in the seventh house, Gemini, right? House of relationship. So when we talk about the Star card and we talk about the World, these are two cards that are often associated with getting exactly what you want. At the end of the day, what Sagittarian really, really wants is a very cool partner. Not necessarily a lover, not necessarily a boyfriend or a girlfriend, not necessarily a husband or a wife, but really a partner in crime, a partner in thought, a partner in life, someone who can hold your hand no matter how fast you run, right? And Gemini, Venus coming into Gemini is exactly the energy that you're looking for to find that dynamic partner. So the Star in the World is much more than just your career is looking up, your energy is looking up. It really is about you getting that whole package, that person that you're like, wow, this person is everything that I want. That's the kind of energy that you're coming into. So now, what did I write here? I wrote new awesome work situation and the rekindling of something. There is a huge chance that if you are suffering under the weight of a really, really deep love and you haven't been able to shake it and it's been a few years and you just keep kind of coming back to it and aren't able to let it go, this is the month where after the 5th, it will become easier and easier and easier for that person to come back into your life. What I would suggest is that you use that Aries bravery and put yourself out there a little bit. If it is someone that you constantly think about, maybe message them, maybe just let them know, because you have such lucky placements that even if you put your foot in your mouth right now, it might work out for you, you know? So I would encourage that. If there's something you really can't let go of right now, I would encourage that you kind of pursue it a little. Another reason is that there's Mercury in the 9th house. So new ventures require a leveling up. One of the ways that I'd like to see you guys level up is to be more trusting and more brave. And I know that there's Sagittarians who are thinking right now, but I'm really brave. Like, I say exactly what I want, even if it's inconvenient. I always, say it how it is. Yes. And what I'm saying is there are other ways to be brave as well. One of the other ways you can be brave is by being vulnerable. By being so vulnerable that people feel like they can be even more open with you, which is ultimately what you want. Sagittarian wants everyone to be open with them, and so that way they can learn and crunch even more data and be even more intelligent. So it will serve your purposes to be emotionally more open and vulnerable and become more emotionally intelligent, right? That's where we're going. Then full moon in the second house. So what I have written here is, how does your interest, or sorry, how does your investment pay off? And then invest in your hobby. So how does your investment pay off? You know, one of the things that I find really interesting about this Two of Swords card, and I thought it as soon as it came up, but I just wanted to do the general and then leave, you know, this insight for the extended, just so we have a clear line of demarcation of where one starts and the other, you know, ends. But as soon as that Two of Swords card came up, I was keenly aware of this full moon in the second house. Like, a lot of times we can get stuck with our own decision making, you know, stagnation. Like, did I do the right thing? Should I do it again? Should I not do it? Did I redo it? Did I do it wrong? Like, this kind of, I made a decision and now I'm going to second guess the hell out of it until I don't even want it anymore. Let's not do that when the full moon is in the second house. You want to use and channel that energy properly, and going back and forth and vacillating in your head and second guessing a decision you already made that you can't take back is not the way to do it. The way to use this energy now is to really take a hard look around at your life. Like, am I just buying stuff? Am I actually investing in stuff that pays off for me? Should I have bought this instead of that? You know, buy Jay's album. Jay's whole album is about this, and he's a Sagittarian. It's all about, like, where are my investments paying off and where aren't they, right? Like, what's more important than spending money at the strip club? Credit. You know? Like, that is your energy right now. So it makes sense that one of your archetypes in a place of power would be sending out that message, because you're all kind of feeling that way. You're all reassessing, you know, and there are a lot of people who have given Jay flack and said, oh, well, you used to promote this type of lifestyle, now you promote this. And I'm like, excuse me, he's a Sagittarian. Like, he's going to evolve and change his whole life. That his whole life is based on evolution. Like, why would you be surprised that he's not the same person that he was, you know, 10 years ago? How could he possibly make music about that person now? That's not who he is. And wouldn't be we, and especially Sagittarians, wouldn't we be really disappointed if there had been no growth and there had been no, you know, escalation of insight? Wouldn't we be like, wow, you're the same person? Like, you didn't learn anything? You're just doing the same, you still running the same game? You know? So take it from one of your leaders, you know, changing the game and then keep changing the game. You know, and getting to the point where you realize that sometimes changing the game doesn't mean anything except changing this. You know, because he externally did change the game. Like, I used to drive by all the time the Marcy projects where he grew up, like, to go from there to where he is now. He did change the game. And then once he did, he realized that the next game to change was up here. And I feel like that's where all of you guys are right now, you know? And so inevitably what comes with that, let's see, Mars, Mercury, Sun, and the Moon go into your 9th house. So what does that mean? I wrote here risking connections and risking new pleasures. And then balance Libra and Aries energy out. So one of the things that comes with this sort of awakening is obviously the critics, but also a real negative sort of backlash from people who just don't want you to change, who aren't comfortable with the fact that you've grown past where you were. You know, or you got that better job, or you look better than you used to, or you feel better than you used to, or you just have more money now, or you are more confident and believe in yourself more now. It doesn't matter. People have a tendency to want to hold back others who would change, because then it would become incumbent on them to change as well. So those people can come across as a very, very aggressive energy. With this 9th house activity, you're going to have to find a way to diplomatically deal with these people, because you will have things thrown at you where you're kind of going to look around and there's a part of you that's going to go, okay, I'm a fire sign, but I'm going to keep my cool. I'm going to keep my cool. I'm going to keep my cool, because people are going to test you a little bit. People are going to test you because the universe, what it's trying to do is it's trying to see, like, oh, you're ready to take a risk? You ready to come out? Well, what sets you off? Where are we at? You know, let's feel you out a little bit and see what you can handle and what you can't handle in terms of social and emotional connections and interactions, okay? So what I would suggest, again, keep that Libra cool. That's all it's about. You want to just take information in, take the new situation in, take the new environment in, take the new person in, and just, you know, unbothered. Oh, yeah. You know, one of the best pieces of advice I can offer you is, if someone tries you, if someone tests you, you know, very disconcerting when a fire sign looks at you and goes, oh, that's interesting. Cool. You know, and inside you know that they're like wanting to kill you, but they're not saying anything. There's something very powerful about holding that part of you back. And I know you guys are so friendly and you don't generally go to that place. But I feel like once you're starting to feel better, things are going well, when someone stands in your way, there will be that part of you that wants to just, you know, don't. Now, the reason this is important, the reason you need to risk making new connections, but you need to be careful, the reason you need to risk new hobbies, doing something new that makes you feel good, is because when we come around to August, you've got an eclipse in your third house. And what does that mean? Ready to perfect and shine from the foundation up. One of the most important and foundational things for you is how you're investing your time and how you're investing your money. If you can get a handle in July on where those two things are being spent, who are the people who get your time and is it worth it? Who are the places who get your time, and financially, is it worth it? You know, so emotionally and financially, are these things worth it? Because if you figure it out in July, then you coast into August and the full moon enters your third and you're like, yeah, did that, check, got rid of that already, saved that, put that away, recorded that, you know, and you're on top of it and you can really enjoy it and be spiritual with it and manifest from it, instead of like being hit all at once with like, oh God, am I a failure? Oh God, I'm not saving money. Oh my God, are my friends really my friends? You don't want that. So now let's wrap it up by pulling some cards on these guys here. But also on the Death card, because I just want to see more. I mean, we know it's about transformation. We know it's about that 8th house activity for you, right? Transform and heal. We know that's what's going on, but let's just see. Let's pull something for Death, and let's also pull for the Knight of Swords and the 5 of Swords. So first the Death card, this transformation and healing that we want to, you know, hedge in by not spending too much and really finding the value within ourselves. All right. So 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords. Okay, that's fairly obvious. Queen of Wands, there you go. Knight of Cups and the Tower. Okay, so the Death card explanation here is really about this interplay. Okay? What you want most, what you're afraid of most. Okay? And finally finding the power within, the fire sign power within yourself to graduate to this level of this being irrelevant, because you know you lose the running anxiety and you know that this is the reality you're heading towards. And then there is this Knight of Cups and the Tower. So remember when I said this could be a water sign? The reason I said that is because I am getting this like feeling like this water sign energy is trying to somehow mess with you and cause some sort of upheaval in your life when your life is going in a really great direction. I'm not saying this person is in any way bad for you and is trying to do it on purpose. Not at all. The point is not to be paranoid. The point is not to think things that are not there are there. Not at all. It's just to inform you that there is this water sign energy that's going to try to going to try to throw you off your game. Like I said, they may not do it purposefully, but it's still something that's going to come up for you. How do you deal with it? You deal with it from this place of power. You know, what they're going to throw up for you is, again, this choice between the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Swords. And they're just the messenger. So don't get too fixated on why they're doing what they're doing. They're only doing it to bring you to a place of power. And, you know, Sagittarian can only go through to a place of power by walking through the fire. That's just how you guys are. So the Death card is really about someone catalyzing an experience within you that makes you look at these extreme polarities of what you really want and what you're really afraid of, kind of facing the idea of perhaps being able to have either one, depending on how you feel and what you want, because this is a woman who has a lot of power. This is a being who has a lot of power and a lot of say in the power of life and manifestation in her hand. She can create what she wants. And from this destruction is how we create, no? So this destruction is necessary. This destruction was necessary. The Death card is also about realizing that the good and the bad are both a part of you and brought you here. Don't discount and run away from the bad. Heal from it by realizing that this is exactly what propelled you here. Ah. Okay, good. Good. Now, let's pull some cards for this Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords. Just this, let's pull some cards trying to figure out what's going on here. Although I think the Knight of Cups and the Tower really doesn't form the situation altogether. But, you know, since I said we would, let's do it. Let's find out what comes up for the Knight of Swords. The bells are tolling. In Denmark, every day at 4 p.m., the bells toll. All right. So the Hierophant, and then the bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords, and then the Ace of Pentacles, and then the Four of Cups. All right. So something that hurts you on an institutional level. Something where you really do feel like you've had to get away from something that really felt at one point like it was going to offer you the world. And instead you're really disappointed by it, and you were made to feel like it was such a great opportunity, but then you realized how much of a lie that was, and you're quite sad about it. This is something in your past, Sagittarius. This is something that's already happened that you're trying to make sense of and move on from. And the world is kind of waiting and going, you know, buddy, anytime you're ready to move on, we're here so we can get going. But this combination of feelings, this like excited hope that you had, you know, this like elevation of the wave and then dropping and then elevation, it made you really weary and tired. This feeling like you've won, but then that person or that thing then coming back again in a devious way. Push and pull, that person having quite a lot of authority over you. You know, being in a position to be able to be this painful for you. Being in a position to inspire this kind of trust and excitement in you, and then, you know, just to drop the situation again. So this is something in the past that now the cards are saying you're moving on from. However, you can remain in that old energy that no longer applies to you, or we can move forward with some logic. Okay? With some logic and also with some balancing out of heart and mind. I wouldn't focus on this situation. If this situation makes its way back into your life, I would nip it in the bud. Because what it looks like here is consistent pain. Being brought up, let down, brought up, let down. You're going to win. I'm making you feel like you gained some ground. No, I'm going to lie and take that ground back. I don't like this situation at all. I wouldn't mess with that situation. As far as if it is a water sign, and if it's someone who's kind of provoking you and challenging you, I would really stick with it because they have within them the power to make you really happy. You've just got to choose. You know, Sag, you've really got to choose what it's going to be. Your hour of rebirth is upon you. Choose wisely. Yeah? All right, Sagittarius. That was good, right? Was it worth it? Was it worth the wait? I hope so. So, tickets are still on sale for Oakland. I will leave that information and Elma's information, who gave me this dope haircut and colored my hair, below. I will also leave Cynthia's information, who made me this beautiful protection mala that I actually wear all the time because it's really, really helped me. And What else? Oh, so one of the things that I very, very recently started offering, just because I tried it out and it was really successful, was I've always had the ability to remotely travel. Like, that's something that I've done since I was a kid, but I've never done remote healings. Never thought about it, never explored it. Just didn't, yeah, never thought about it. And then I had an experience where Cynthia, the woman who makes tamales, did a remote healing for me. And the effects of it were so profound. I mean, just in my life, so profound. Like, I'm a believer, you know, I'm a believer. And so I tried it out with a couple of my friends who I'm close to, and I knew that it would be, you know, safe for me to venture into that space. And it was really successful. And I found a lot of meaning in it, and a lot of healing happened. So one of the things that I'm going to start offering is those remote healings. If you're interested in that, or in getting a reading, for the readings, you have to please be a little bit patient. There's about a 10-day wait right now, unless you'd like an emergency reading, and those are same day or within 48 hours. So there is that option. I am doing readings over Skype and the phone. I will be in Europe for the next 4 weeks, 3 weeks actually, and then I'll be back in New York for 2 months for August and September. I will be in San Francisco for all of October, and I will be in LA for the first 2 weeks of November, at which time I will be coming back to Europe for 3 months. So if you can catch me in any of those places and you would like an in-person reading, let me know. I'm also doing energy transfers in the in-person reading. So if that's something you're into, let me know as well. I'll leave my information below. Did I tell you I loved you guys at the beginning? No? I love you guys. Thank you for being so patient. I will see you in August.